Chiefs rookie minicamp is complete, and now we get ready for the next round of off-season workouts the following week. Here to talk about spring football practice on SportsBeat KC for Monday, May 17th, with me, Blair Kirchhoff, are Chiefs beat writers Herbie Teope and Sam McDowell. They took in rookie minicamp, so they got to see the draft class and other first-year players in actions, and they share their impressions. There's also been some player acquisition news, the addition of 3 veterans on the defensive side for depth. We break it down. After a break, you'll hear what Andy Reid had to say about the first phase of camp, and you'll also hear from Chiefs' first draft pick, linebacker Nick Bolton from Missouri. Of course, he was taken in the second round, but he was the Chiefs' first draft pick. So let's get started talking Chiefs. Herbie Teope and Sam McDowell are here to talk Chiefs. After rookie minicamp, it's concluded, and it was different for 2021 simply by having it, Herbie. That was a big advantage. I got to think a big advantage for the draft class and for the first-year players that were in camp this week. They got to see, the practice facility, Arrowhead Stadium, that sort of thing. That didn't happen last year.
Yeah, I think it's more important for the coaching staff as well. When you think about rookie mini camp, the biggest thing that folks have to remember, don't get caught up on video clips or someone catching the football in basically 7-on-7 drills and even on air, is the fact that the coaching staff has the opportunity to bring the rookies from the draft class as well as undrafted rookies and introduce them to expectations, standards, the key thing, the playbook. They go through various install periods after classroom environments. And for this year, it was unique because this was the first time that the coaching staff had the opportunity to get their hands on them. They didn't see them at the combine. They didn't see them for any pre-draft visits, and they couldn't hold any pre-draft workouts because of the COVID protocols in place. So this was huge for the coaching staff. And Andy Reid even said that when I asked him that question yesterday, what is the biggest benefit this year compared to last year's draft class? And he mentioned that the fact that they have the opportunity now to absorb everything that's expected of them before they combine with the veterans for OTAs.
He seemed pretty happy with the way things went. Of course, he's going to say that no matter what, but he did seem genuinely happy with it. And he sounded like a coach who got to work with players, and that's what Andy Reid wants to do anyway. The one player that I think people wanted to see the most was not somebody from this year's rookie class, but last year's rookie class, and that's Lucas Niang, the guy who opted out a year ago. And there was some buzz in social media that he came back to camp out of shape. But I don't know. After listening to Andy Reid, it was just he's a big guy, right? He's got a gut. He's a big guy. I don't know if he's shaped any differently than he was a year ago when he did come for at least a couple of days before deciding to opt out. What did you make of just seeing Lucas Niang for the first time?
Sam, I think Sam's probably best to answer that one because he was actually out there for Friday's practice. And take it away, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that was most interesting about Lucas Niang is he lined up at right tackle because he's a guy that spent last year, he said, preparing to play for basically every position but center on the offensive line. He was training at tackle and guard on both sides of the line. He thought last year when he left the team, he thought he might be needed as a guard. And he comes back to a completely different offensive line, of course, this year. So they've got him at right tackle. But I asked Andy Reid about the shape he was in, and he said he actually came in better shape than he came in last year. So, I mean, for anybody that looks at him, and he is just – I actually – there's only 3 or 4 of us standing out at practice, and one of them's Adam Teicher from ESPN who used to work with us. And I actually did look at Adam at one point. I said, Lucas Niang is a large individual. Even for an NFL football player, he stands out. It's not just that he's big, but he's very tall as well. And even for like 6'7", he looks long even for that with his arms. So it's funny because going into this year's draft, you heard so much about guys' arm lengths because the tackles in this year's draft class, there was some concern that their arms were too short. And Lucas Niang doesn't fall into that category at all. So Brett Veach even mentioned the tackle's arms at one point. And so you can see why, that Niang maybe fits the type of guy they were looking for if they feel like he can develop. Of course, this guy hasn't played an NFL snap in ever.
What I guess my bottom line on Lucas Niang is whatever you thought of him going into camp, that didn't change based on eyeballs on him, over the 3-day weekend. Now, look, there's many more opportunities to see the Chiefs and Niang over the next month, but just by seeing him, and they didn't do much in practice. They couldn't because of the numbers. I read Herbie's story. There were only 29 first-year players there, which is much lower than what we've seen in past years. But whatever you thought of Lucas Niang going into this thing, no reason to change your opinion coming out of it.
No, I mean, they only had 4 offensive linemen there. So, I mean, it's nothing like a true practice that we're used to.
Yeah, the key thing with rookie minicamp is because 29 in a traditional year is extremely small. What teams tend to do for rookie minicamp is they'll have a host of tryout players. This year, because of the NFLPA and NFL's agreement with the COVID protocols in place, each team was limited to just 5 invites. So, and Reid kept mentioning, we weren't able to do 11 on 11s, and that's true because the numbers just don't add up. 4 offensive linemen, 3 linebackers, 2 quarterbacks, which is typically standard for a rookie minicamp. But the interior line, because of the limitations on the numbers, they just couldn't do it. But you could certainly get 7-on-7s, air-on-air drills, which they ran a lot.
Dalton Chain was one of those guys, right? One of those invitees. Kansas State, Blue Valley Northwest. It was, and we heard from him yesterday. It was neat to hear from Dalton Chain, and guy who was in the Chargers camp last year was one of the invitees to the Chiefs camp.
Yeah, Dalton Schoen kind of fits both Herbie's and me because Herbie's the K-State guy, but Dalton was a former Kansas City Star Scholar Athlete of the Year in 2015. So that's his real claim to fame, not this Chiefs tryout. I mean, that'll always be at the top of that guy's resume.
Hey, he's not a tryout. He's actually signed. He was a reserve future contract guy. Yeah. Well, okay, so maybe he is trying out.
but what's interesting about Dalton's story, and both of you guys already know this, but in case somebody else does, I mean, the guy had to walk on at K-State and earn his spot there and becomes a very productive player at Kansas State. I think he had, over 1,500 yards in his career there. And again, I asked him about this yesterday, but he's in a very similar spot now. He's kind of already been through this where nobody expects him to be a guy that makes an impression and earns a spot. So, I mean, of course, he's a long shot knowing, the fact that, like Herbie said, he signed a futures contract back in January. But, I mean, it's a good story, and he's a guy who's overcome the odds once before.
Yeah, and K-State is famous for walk-on players. One of the greatest, Jordy Nelson, baby.
Oh, no, Kansas State's made a living off invited walk-ons who a couple of B.J. Finney, another one who ended up in the NFL. And Dalton, just a good story, and good luck to him. I hope I hope he ends up, maybe make the practice squad or something. It'd be good to see him stay in pro football. Hey, before we move on from rookies, I want to ask about one more. And Sam, you wrote about him, and I really liked his sort of change in attitude, and that's Trey Smith, the offensive lineman who was really ticked off about his draft position. But we didn't hear that attitude, I guess, when we talked to him this weekend.
Yeah, when we talked to him the first time, which was literally just moments after he had been drafted, his answers were short, and I just thought it was obvious it was because he was really upset that he had fallen to the 6th round. He had this blood clot issue in college in 2018, didn't experience it for the past 2 years. And he was so concerned that was going to happen to him that he explained to teams ahead of time, I've got this under control. I've got a new medication. It's all good. And the Chiefs doctors agreed. And Brett Veach said, we feel like we're more careful than anybody with stuff like this. And we still thought that this guy was fine. If that's the case, I feel like they gotta steal out of Trey Smith. But to your point, Blair, I mean, I felt like we talked to a different guy over the weekend than what we had talked to on draft day, because he was optimistic. He had just decided this is the best situation he feels like he could be in, regardless of where he was taken. He likes the team he's on. He likes the coaches he's with. Your phrase was exactly right. Just a change in attitude from the guy that we saw the first time we talked to him on a Zoom call.
Sam brings up a very good point about, Brett Veach saying that the medical staff, he feels like they're well equipped to deal with these kinds of medical issues because they've experienced it. In 2015, Tavon Rooks, the heart attack in training camp because of blood clots. So, they really understand the situation. A lot of the medical staff is still in place, from Dr. Monaco and Rick Burkholder. So if anyone's going to do their due diligence on past medical issues, dealing with blood clots and anything that can affect the heart, it certainly is going to be the Chiefs.
Okay, before you guys get back to work, let's talk about some newcomers to the Chiefs. We had no sooner finished taping the podcast last week when the Chiefs announced the trade that brought Mike Hughes, cornerback from the Vikings, to Kansas City. Just based on the terms of the deal, Chiefs get Mike Hughes and the Vikings' 7th round pick next year. The Chiefs gave up their 6th round pick for next year. That makes it seem to me like the Vikings were getting anything they could for Mike Hughes, a player who, former first-round draft pick, but has really been unlucky with injuries. But what's the future for Mike Hughes in 2021, Herbie? Where's he going to play?
I think, if anything, it's a good low-risk, high-reward move for the Chiefs. I mean, you only gave up a 6th-round draft pick, and you get Hughes, like you mentioned, a former first-round, and a 7th. That's fantastic value for a former first-round pick. With the Vikings, Hughes became expendable, the injuries, but they also went all in on Patrick Peterson, a 2-time All-Pro cornerback, and that made Hughes expendable, and they certainly signaled their intent when they didn't exercise the 5th-year option. I like this move because you get the depth, and now, as you look at the roster right now, you've got 2 former first-round draft picks at the cornerback position with Hughes and DeAndre Baker. And if either of those 2 pan out, you've got some good quality cornerbacks for the Chiefs, with Ward projected to start, L'Jarius Sneed projected to start. Now you've got 2 first-round draft picks that you can kick the tires on and see how they do this year.
Yeah, the injuries, he tore an ACL his first year, his 6th game, after returning a interception for a touchdown in his very first NFL game. And then he's been dealing with a neck injury each of the past 2 seasons. So a little bit unlucky with the injuries. And when you think about the draft position the Chiefs gave up, think about this. Look, if the Chiefs, do what we expect them to do and end up with, draft pick anywhere from 30 to 32 next year, and the Vikings end up somewhere in the middle of their draft round, the Chiefs really only gave up, maybe 15 draft spots or something in the trade for him. So this could turn out to be a really good move for the Chiefs. Another defensive back that they signed or they acquired was Parks from Denver. I did not know much about him. I think he made most of his bones on special teams. Will Parks played safety for the Broncos. He spent his first 4 or 5 years with Denver, went to the Eagles, then returned to Denver, and was available. He's played in 72 NFL games, 18 starts. They just took a flyer on this guy.
I think it's depth. They needed depth at the safety position because they didn't draft one. But the interesting thing about Parks, from talking to Ryan O'Halloran, who covers the Broncos for the Denver Post, a fellow K-Stater, he was telling me the unique thing about Parks is his ability to play a lot inside. So, when he came back to the Broncos last year, Ryan was telling me they didn't utilize him so much at safety. They used him a lot against the word I'm looking for. The slot receiver, there we go. So he was always inside. So he's an interchangeable piece. We know Steve Spagnuolo loves those versatile safeties, and that's what Parks gives them.
Okay. Again, adding to the defense, Kamale Correa. Sam, tell us about him and what do you think he brings?
Yeah, I mean, versatility is also part of his game too. I mean, he's a guy that can rush the passer a little bit from the linebacker position. So he is a linebacker, but I kind of wondered, based on the Chiefs' needs, if they feel like maybe he's a guy that can help off the edge, because that's a spot where I still think they need another body. He is in his career best year, I think it was 2019 with the Titans. He had 5 sacks. He is a former second-round pick. So, again, we're going back to a guy that leading into the draft, teams felt like he had a lot of potential and just hasn't quite lived up to that. And maybe the Chiefs feel like, that they can get him in the right scheme and with the right coaching and the right position that he can live up to that potential that he had coming out of Boise State, right?
Yeah, Boise State.
5 years ago.
Tell you what, that's a Brett Veach special, isn't it? He loves the former first, second round pick guys that didn't for whatever reason didn't work out with their original teams, and it's worked out pretty well for him with the Chiefs. So.
Yeah, and Correa was a guy that also had a really good AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, with of course all the Chiefs' eyes, front office and coaches. On him. So you do wonder how much. Right? Yeah, when he was with the Titans, that's right. So you do wonder what kind of impression that made on the Chiefs coaches. I mean, of course, they watch film of every game this guy's played, but I mean, when you see him up close and personal and he has that kind of day, I mean, I think he had 11 tackles that day. I'm sure that made an impression on him.
Yeah, and also the post game. Remember, there's shots, video, and photos of Andy Reid shaking his hand at the end of the game. So, he certainly made the impression.
Okay, before we get out of here and hear from some Chiefs, let me get your just quick impressions on 2 things. One is Bashard Breeland. Just doesn't seem like he's going to be back with the Chiefs next year, Herbie.
I'm starting to really think that as well. When you think about it, we're now in May. He's had his shot at free agency 3 straight off seasons. And he hasn't had that big deal yet. The Chiefs haven't made a move to bring him back that I'm aware of. The fact that they traded for Mike Hughes says a lot. It really does. I don't know if he's going to be back. I would be very surprised if he's back.
Yeah, he's like the poster child for the proven contract, right? He is the 1-year proven contract. Sounds like that's what's left for him for this season, and it won't be in Kansas City. And Sam, how about a little bit of a dust up on social media about Tyrann Mathieu's contract extension? Tyrann Mathieu tweeted something about, maybe showing a little bit of impatience here, but I don't know. I think it's something that's going to get done. There's no way the Chiefs don't think of him as a priority. He's the defensive Patrick Mahomes as far as I'm concerned.
It was about this time last year, Blair, that Chris Jones tweeted something about the fact that he might not be back because he hadn't heard from the Chiefs at all. Last offseason, the Chiefs did Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Chris Jones, and those all came later in the offseason, especially the Mahomes and Kelce deals. And those are most similar to the position that Tyrann Mathieu's in with an extension. So I know it's May 17th and the Chiefs have had so much happen in the offseason already, but it's actually kind of early for that extension talk with guys that you already have under contract. Of course, that comes last in the pecking order for a reason. I mean, you've got to get your draft picks. You're concentrated on free agency. I still think that they should be optimistic that that's going to happen, even if the player is expressing a little impatience with it.
I tend to agree with Sam there as well, because Mahomes wasn't done until July. Chris Jones was done like maybe a week, 2 weeks before Mahomes, if I'm not mistaken. And Kelce wasn't done until August, because I remember we were in a SportsBeat conference call when it happened.
I had to bring that one up, Herbie, huh? All right, guys. Great conversation. We're going to take a break. When we come back, you'll hear from Andy Reid and Nick Bolton. Hey, it's Blair. We have a special subscription offer for SportsBeat KC listeners, unlimited digital access to the Kansas City Star's award-winning sports coverage. Sign up now for 1 year of Sports Pass for access to all the sports news, features, and columns presented on the kansascity.com site, and it's only $30. That's a 40% savings off our regular rate. Your subscription will automatically renew after the initial term at $50 unless you tell us to cancel. Your subscription helps support the sports coverage of kansascity.com and the Kansas City Star, and that support has never been more important. Please visit kansascity.com/SportsBeatKC offer to get this special offer. And as always, thanks for listening.
Listen, it was great to be able to get back on the field with players. What a good group, man. These guys, it wasn't as big a group as we normally have for the rookie mini camp, but boy, did they work hard and really did everything we asked them to do. And Brett's brought some good talent in here to where we could have a good camp. We did a lot of 7-on-7. We were able to hit the red zone today and 7-on-7. Didn't have enough linemen to go through an actual team period, but what we got done was tremendous. And these guys absorbed it, which was it was a real pleasure to coach them. And again, I just appreciate the quality of the player and their effort as they got into this. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
Go first to Herbie Teope. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, good afternoon.
Herbie.
You mentioned the lack of the opportunity to have the players back here for rookie mini camp. And when you compare it to last year without a rookie mini camp, how much of an advantage does this year's draft class have, as far as the acclimation and learning process compared to last year? And I'll have another question after this.
Yeah, so listen, I just think you want to go into training camp with an understanding. So of the new things that you were able to study and experiment with, as coaches and then on the field as players to make yourself better this next year. So that's what this did. This gave them an opportunity now to hit phase 2 when the veterans are here. With an understanding of a base understanding of what's going on. They're going to have to strap it on when the veterans get in because it's gone fast. We're already 4 installs into it, and they're going to have to catch up, and the number of plays and all those things are going to have to catch up. But at least they have a foundation. And then I'd say the same thing for the veterans when they're able to get on the field. Now they've done this in the classroom. Now it's an opportunity to get out and walk through it. And then jog through it and then run it. And those steps become important when you go into training camp. It gives you an opportunity to be better.
Now, Nick Bolton, your second-round draft pick, obviously he doesn't have pads on yet, but how much does he come as advertised from what you've seen over the last 3 days? Yeah,
I'll tell you now. He had a nice interception today, actually, right in the red zone. So he's Tiger tough, man. I mean, he's out there battling, and you have to love it. He's got great instincts. He's very intelligent. Did a nice job. Now we're in shorts, and he's a linebacker. So I mean, I know he probably can't wait till we start hitting and that. But for the drills here, he sure did a nice job.
Let's go to Haley Lewis. Go ahead, Haley.
Hey, Coach, just wanted to follow up on what Herbie was saying about how beneficial it was to have the players actually on the field this year versus virtual, and kind of what was the benefit of that this year versus last?
Yeah, so again, just the fact that you have an opportunity to go to the next phase. So they'll start phase 2 tomorrow. There's not a whole lot of rest here. They get to rest up and get off their feet this afternoon, but then they're right back at it tomorrow. And then listen, tomorrow, phase 2 is mostly lifting and doing that, but there's a little bit on the field work where you can kind of go through some things shortly. I mean, they're short. It's a short day on the field, but for the young guys, just getting they're now going to get acclimated to the 4 installs that the offense has had and the 6 installs that the defense has had, and so on. They're going to get all of that. They're going to have to kind of catch up to it, and then they'll get some extra time. The rookies get extra time tomorrow, and they'll get a little bit more coaching virtually there that and get caught up mentally at least.
Let's go next to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy. I wanted to ask you about a guy like Lucas Niang, who's coming back off of the opt-out, obviously. There's probably some challenges involved for him, but are there any benefits for a guy in his situation that you see coming back, maybe sitting out that last year? And Brad, I'll have a second question as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the pluses are he was able to keep himself COVID free, and but most of our guys did. So I mean, my credit goes out to everybody that was involved with that. But he's done a nice job in this camp, Adam. I mean, he's a big man, like really a big man that has these beautiful feet. So I look forward to getting him back in the pads in training camp and moving around and and doing what offensive linemen do, the real football part of it. But till then, this gives him a chance to get acclimated mentally and physically as he goes forward. So I think it's a good lead up for him.
In his case, did you see any rust this weekend? Could you tell, hey, this is a guy who's been out of football for a year? And if you could, how did you see that?
Well, you can tell he's worked. The thing with this, Adam, is there was no offense versus defense with the lines. So we didn't have one-on-ones or any of that. And he had done all that during training camp. So like all players, it's going to that'll be a challenge down the road for him to get back into that. But for right now, he looked tremendous for what we were doing. Good recall there.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Andy, I want to ask you about Cornell Powell, specifically along with Trey Smith. I noticed that you took some extra time looking at them, kind of exchanged a little word with them while they're going through reps. I'm just curious, what do you kind of say to them to try to calm them down? Because they always kind of mention like, well, that's a Hall of Fame coach there. You know, it's a little bit, I wouldn't say intimidating, but it's a little bit of a mesmerizing thing for them to say. What do you say to them to kind of calm them down and get them going? And what are you impressed by them both?
Yeah, I mean, listen, both of them just want to get better. And Mike Kafka does a great job with that. I mean, he spends a ton of time with those guys, the young guys, and just, he spends a ton of time with the quarterbacks. But that's one of those positions that when you start fresh, and in one case, when you have a player that's never called a play in the huddle or, period, since high school, college, he's never had to get in the huddle and nail it down for the guys. So it takes a ton of time, and Mike's got the patience to do that. And I thought he did a tremendous job with those young guys to get them right. Plus, the more they know, the calmer they are. It doesn't matter who's around them. I'm not playing. I'm not the secondary. I'm not the linebackers. And so get to know what you need to know and let's go. And then, that's a blessed room right there. They've got some good coaches in there. Obviously, Eric's in there every day, and David Girardi's in there too. So it works out well. There's plenty of coaching going on.
Right, we've got two more. We'll go Pete and then Sam. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Coach, wanted to ask you about the fourth-round defensive end, Joshua Kendo. What gives you and the defensive staff optimism that he could potentially be a contributor in his rookie season here?
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. But you got great work ethic. I mean, tremendous work ethic. He's very, very intelligent, and he's long. I mean, he's a big human being, and he's got long arms, and he knows how to use those. He's got heavy hands, they'd say. So, and then it's just a matter of him getting used to the scheme. He's got a tremendous coach, and so he'll get all the fundamentals down, and then he'll take it step by step and eventually go use them. Like I mentioned about Yang, I mean, it's rough on the O-line and D-line right now because they can't hit anybody and do their thing. So it's versus a bag.
And we'll go last to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. Wanted to ask a follow-up on Lucas Niang. What, just generally speaking, what are sort of the concerns about a guy that hasn't played competitive football in a year? Like, what specifically does Willie have to sort of catch up on because he wasn't actually in game action?
Well, he actually came in better shape than he probably was last year. So that's that's a plus. He's been doing stuff. and so he came in, and it looked like he got right back into it. For what we asked him to do, he was fine. He's a very intelligent kid. I think you guys know that, but he's very intelligent. So just getting him back in the swing of things, it looked like he did that well.
We'll start with Aaron Ladd with KSHB. Go ahead, Aaron.
Hey, Nick, welcome to KC. Got a couple of questions for you. First off, I'm wondering, now that you've made the transition to the professional life, if you look back on your Mizzou career and think about something that kind of stands out and kind of what you built there. That's the first one.
Yeah, so if I look back at Mizzou, it's kind of being around my group that came in with us, working with those guys every single day. It was a blessing. Built lifelong friendships with those guys, guys I call and check in almost every day. So if I look back on that, it's probably the biggest accomplishment. I've been around those guys, helping those guys try to get to their end goal as well. It's probably the most thing I liked about being at Mizzou.
And then you got a new number now. Is there a reason why you went with 54?
Not necessarily. Just kind of an open option. I kind of liked it a little bit. A couple of my family members had it too growing up. So it's kind of just a family number. I just want to keep playing.
Let's go next to Matt McMullen with Chiefs.com. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Nick. So I'm sure you're excited to get out there on the field. I'm just curious how much you've had a chance to get to know your fellow rookies so far and how excited you are to kind of build that bond with your fellow rookies.
Yeah, so building a bond with those guys. I talked to them. We always at the same spot. A couple of linebackers that came in. I'm kind of building a relationship with those guys as well. I also played against a couple guys, a couple Georgia guys, Tennessee, Trey Smith. So I kind of played with those guys. So it's kind of all coming to the same area, competing against each other. We did it for 3 years in college. And so just getting to compete with those guys here is a blessing.
Let's go next to Herbie Teope with the Star. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Nick, good afternoon. You finally got your hands on the playbook here. What are you hoping to do and prove these next 3 days of rookie minicamp and then setting up for OTAs?
Yeah, just trying to, at the end of the day, just trying to grow and learn the playbook. Not really trying to prove anything, just trying to soak everything up, learn the basic fundamentals, how they practice, just how to become a Kansas City Chiefs and be a practice player. So I'm just doing that every single day. That's kind of what I hope to accomplish, improving myself and learning the playbook, and also just learning how to be a Chief.
You mentioned earlier that you've been in touch with some of the rookies. What about some of the veterans? Has Anthony Hitchens reached out to you?
Yeah, so I talked to Hitch. That's one of my guys. He was actually down there in Dallas when I was down there. So I text him quite a bit. We talked a lot. So just looking forward to building that relationship.
Let's go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Just curious your thoughts overall on the different linebacking spots. The Chiefs have said that you might play inside, you might play outside. What's your feeling about the difference between the two spots?
Right now, I'm just trying to learn the playbook. I don't really have a position. I'm just trying to learn as much as I can throughout these next 3 days, heading to OTAs. We don't know a position. I'm just coming in every single day, trying to compete, trying to get better, and trying to expand my knowledge on the playbook.
Let's go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Nick, you had a chance to come up after the draft to Kansas City, and now you're getting settled in. You've got a uniform in your locker. I'm just curious, what have the last couple of weeks been like getting, to know Kansas City? And has there been a moment that, you had to pinch yourself that you're actually finally here in the NFL?
Yeah, so I probably still haven't done that yet. Trying to soak in the moment. I was trying to get everything up here, get everything settled in. Getting up here and trying to get myself a chance to compete. So just being in Kansas City, I'm thankful to be here. I'm ready to get to work. Other than that, that's kind of just my mindset. That's how I've been.
Let's go right down the line. We got 3 left, starting with Darren Smith. Go ahead,
Darren. Hey, Nick, a couple quick questions for you. You're in that Chief jersey in front of us for the first time. What's it mean to you to, put on that jersey, that Chief jersey that you'll have on for the next number of years? And then also, you talked about getting together with, learning the playbook. What are you hoping skill-wise to show these coaches this weekend?
Yeah, so to start with the last one, just trying to show I'm a competitor. I just want to compete, try to put myself in a position to make plays within the scheme. So that's kind of what my mindset's been. And then what was the first question you asked again?
Oh, hold on, Nick. Let me unmute him real quick. There you go, Darren.
Yeah, my first question was, you wearing a Chief jersey. What's it mean to you to have that NFL jersey, and what's it mean to you to be a Kansas City Chiefs now that you have the jersey on officially?
Yeah, so it means a lot. A world-class organization. These guys have been winning for a while. They did it before I even got here. So just watching that, being in Missouri, watching these guys go out there and compete at a high level week in and week out, play good defense, play good special teams, and be good on offense. So it's just a blessing to be here. I'm just putting myself in position to compete. That's all I hope for.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Nick, congrats on your first day. I kind of asked this question of many rookies. Obviously, now you're in the NFL. You're going to be a millionaire soon. How many second cousins have you kind of got over the phone recently that have called you, and how many family members that you didn't know had your number called you?
No, that's not really how my family really operates to this point. They're kind of respecting my time, respecting what I'm trying to do. So they kind of do what they need to do on that ends of it. So I don't really have any of my family to congratulate me a little bit. I had that. So I'm thankful for that, for my family members sitting there supporting me back at home. But other than that, though, that's really all I got for that one.
And let's go last to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Nick, my question's about Andy Hill. I was just curious, to your knowledge, how much he vouched for you to get drafted here, and what have your conversations been like since coming aboard?
So Coach Hill, I had the blessing to have Coach Hill as a coach for me 2 years, my freshman and sophomore season. Freshman and sophomore season at Missouri. So he kind of vouched for me probably a lot, being down the street, being able to coach me. So I appreciate him for that. But since I got here, I just kind of welcomed me in, trying to teach me a little bit of special teams as much as I can. I'm trying to suck up as much knowledge as I can from him to put myself in position to help us on special teams. So again, he probably vouched for me quite a bit, being from right down the street.
Nick, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us.
No problem. Appreciate it.
That'll do it for today. Thanks to our SportsBeat KC production staff of Derek Donovan, Beth Welsh, Monty Davis, Jeff Rosen, Chris Fickett, and Savannah Smith. Tip of the cap to Herbie Teope and Sam McDowell for stopping by and talking Chiefs. Links to their stories can be found in the show notes and on kansascity.com. Hey, we have another deal for you. You can subscribe to Sports Pass for 99 cents a month. That's right, 99 pennies a month. Sports Pass is the online version of the Star Sports section. You get all the stories that appear in the print editions of the Star, plus more stories that appear only on the website, like Mellinger Minutes. After 3 months, it auto-renews at $5.99 a month unless you cancel. What a great time to subscribe. Read all about what's going on with the Chiefs, the Royals, the colleges, our soccer teams, and more. How do you get it? You go to kansascity.com/sportspass2020. That's kansascity.com/sportspass2020. You want more than just sports coverage? Check out the entire Kansas City Star product. News, sports, features, commentary, analysis, the whole thing. You get all the stories written by my talented colleagues, plus additional national sports, news, and business coverage with the e-edition. The details for all of these deals can be found at account.kansascity.com/subscribe. And if you're having trouble hunting down any of these offers, you send me an email, bkirkhoff@kcstar.com, and I'll get you to the right place. So whether it's the Sports Pass or the full subscription, you're getting and supporting the best sports and news coverage in Kansas City and helping us produce programs like SportsBeat KC. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back on Tuesday with another episode. We're talking Royals tomorrow. Join us. Thank you.